What if Weavile was in Gen 1 OU? Now Weavile has been struggling in Gen 9, but he's been getting better, at least with like Pokemon like Gliscor coming back and Chiampao getting banned. But Gen 1 is a much different story. With that speed stat only being outsped by Jolteon, and to a lesser extent Aerodactyl and Electrode, he would be one of the fastest Pokemon in the game. That 120 attack stat is also spectacular. Obviously he would be the only Dark type, meaning that he has a nice and juicy Psychic immunity. And most importantly, at least in my opinion, he has the Ice typing, and he benefits from the Gen 1 mechanics. Ice is at its absolute best in Gen 1. And because of how the mechanics work in Gen 1, because of how fast Weavile is, it means you get a lot of crits. So how good would he be? Not perfect. He would definitely have his, weaknesses, but overall, pretty good. I think we should get the elephant out of the room, however. Both of his types before the physical special split would be special. Doesn't really matter with Dark, because 1, it doesn't exist in Gen 1, and 2, even if we gave him Dark moves, they're not programmed to be super effective against Psychic types. So at least for the context of using like Gen 1 custom games, there's no reason to actually use it. However, Ice is good. Stab Wizard is always appreciated. And yes, I know you're thinking, what's the point of using Blizzard when you only have a base 45 special attack? However, Blizzard hits pretty hard. It hits hard either way, and like I said before, because of the crit rate, he's going to crit a lot. Like the only Pokemon that's going to crit more is Jolteon. So even then, his base 45 special attack might as well be base 90. And a base 90 Blizzard, yeah, that hits hard. Even without it, you're mostly using it against super effective Pokemon anyways, such as like using it against like Rhydon or Exeggutor. So yeah, the special attack isn't that much of a problem. And Blizzard is one of your most consistent moves. Even if it wasn't, or even if it's even lower, it's still an Ice move in Gen 1, which means you can get permanent freezing. So there's no reason not to use it. As for other moves other than the obvious, Counter is, well, hot garbage on a Pokemon like Weavile, although not having to worry about fighting types, for the most part, is pretty good. Same with having to worry about fire types, but it's not worth it at all. That one could use it on regular Weavile anyways. Double Edge is a okay option, but I have a feeling you don't really bother with it. Ice Beam and Ice Punch are just poor man's Blizzard, and it's not like Weavile's bulky enough to where you would use like multiple ice moves just to fish for freezes. Low Kick could be good, although I feel like Weavile's other physical options are already good enough. Although the flinch chance is nice, it's just it just really makes me mad that I can't actually test Low Kick in Gen 1 custom games. Because when I tried testing it, it had a base power of 100. So I'm assuming, even though like Low Kick is already designed to only be 50 base power in Gen 1, I imagine that, I guess for custom games, it's just programmed how it is in other generations. Which means I can't really get accurate results with it. And I'm sorry about that. But at least with Weavile, you probably don't use it in the first place unless you want like crits, or not crits, flinches. Reflect, maybe? I imagine probably not though, but it's interesting to think about. Surf, the only reason you would use Surf would be for Rhydon exactly, and like, if you're really worried that the opponent's gonna have Moltres. And I checked in damage calc, Surf technically does do more damage than Blizzard, however Surf is not an OHKO. If it's not an OHKO, for the most part, it just doesn't matter. Because at that point, you're just wanting to OHKO Rhydon with a crit, and if that's the case, you might as well go for Blizzard. Sword Stance, obviously, is really good on Weavile. Although, because of how fast he is, you're already going to hit hard anyways. I still think you use it, like, no doubt about it. However, like, what moves does he really use to take advantage of it? Because he doesn't have Earthquake, and he doesn't have, like, Body Slam. He does have Hyper Beam, and I do think you 100% will take advantage of Sword Stance with Hyper Beam. But other than, like, those two moves, and obviously use Blizzard, like, you have Double Edge. Or actually, maybe Double Edge isn't actually that bad. Because Weavile's pretty frail anyways. But who knows. Now, the one other move other than Blizzard that's a must-have is Slash. 120 Slash with 125 base speed. Obviously, he's always getting guaranteed crits. They're hitting like a truck. Also, another move you can use instead of Sword Stance could be Agility. Because while Weavile is already really fast, it could be nice just to make sure you're not, like, screwed over by Paralysis. As you would imagine, Paralysis is, like, the main thing that takes down Weavile. Since for weaknesses, you don't really need to worry about, like, Rhydon's, like, Rock Slide. And another move, which I will get to later. But let's just get into the replays, shall we? I'll be honest, at first I did have a lot of doubt about Weavile with his full special attack. But then I saw how much a critical Blizzard did. And, like, holy crap, look at that. Like, this right here, this alone already shows the potential Weavile has. Even if you just ignore the, like, Dark type, and let's just say he was a pure Ice type in Gen 1, that would be insane. There'd be no doubt about it. And that's how much a regular Blizzard does. Which, even then, for base 45 special attack, that's pretty respectable. And Slash does about a little bit more. But still, both are pretty good options. And while Tauros, most of the time, will win in a 1v1, because of crits with Blizzard, and with just how much, like, Slash does in general, you could either weaken Tauros enough to where your own Tauros can easily revenge kill it, or if you get lucky with crits, you can just take it out on your own. Just a matter of you want to, like, fish for crits with Blizzard, or just go for Slash. And then Snorlax. Reflective Axe does not work on it. Obviously, Amnesia Axe just gets completely walled and destroyed. So, all you have are just physical Snorlax stats, with Body Slam, Earthquake, and Self-Destruct. And obviously, like, a Self-Destruct can kill Weavile, and a Paralysis from Body Slam is very dangerous. But for the most part, Weavile can do a good enough job. Like, it still kind of sucks though that Snorlax doesn't, like, completely fear you. Slash is still a 3-hit KO, and obviously setting up Sword Stance for, like, Hyper Beam or Double Edge takes time. Which means Snorlax has chances to get good hits on you, and even paralyze you. Or KO you with Hyper Beam and Self-Destruct. So it can go either way. And then with Chansey, oh boy, Chansey. Slash is a 3-hit KO, but it's pretty close to a 2-hit KO. But I guess that doesn't really matter. Sword Stance, obviously with Weavile, makes this a whole lot scarier. But unfortunately, it's just not an OHKO. You really wish it was. But it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, since, let's be real, this is still a matchup that's way more in Weavile's favor. And while in this replay, Paralysis, along with just getting unlucky, ended up being really bad for Weavile, it's not going to get in this situation most of the time, because either Chansey's already going to have some damage in, which means Weavile can easily revenge kill, or Weavile will do enough damage to Chansey to where something else can revenge kill it. And either way, Chansey just does not stay in. It just does not risk it. Which I don't think surprises anybody. I really don't. And then with Cloyster, this was the replay where I was gonna test with low kick, but then I saw 100 base power, and I was like, yeah, I'm not bothering with this. It's a shame, because I feel like low kick could make this matchup way more even. But since I can't test it out, just with Slash, Weavile just has no way of really hurting Cloyster. Cloyster's just way too bulky, which means Cloyster can just take the matchup very easily. Unfortunate. And then with Eggy, what does Eggy do against Weavile? It can put it to sleep, but then what? Blizzard hits hard. You only have Double Edge, really, to hit Weavile with, so Weavile doesn't even care about sleep that much. There's just nothing. And while I didn't make replays for it, because I felt like it would have been, like, you know, like, pretty straightforward, obviously obviously Alakazam and Jinx have absolutely no way of hitting Weavile. Alakazam can paralyze Weavile and can, like, seismic toss it, sure, but Weavile can just murder it with just Slash or, like, Hyper Beam. And then Jinx, it can put Weavile to sleep, but then what? Its attacking moves are Blizzard and Psychic, so there's nothing. But here's one of the best counters to Weavile, though, that being Gengar. Gengar can easily put Weavile to sleep. Blizzard doesn't really do that much. So regardless of what move you use, other than like Psychic, Weavile can easily just get worn down by Gengar, and there's nothing you can do. So that's 2 videos in a row now, where Gengar, of all Pokemon, can just specially wall a strong physical attacker. That's weird. And you kind of wish Weavile had a better, like, special move. Like, I think if Weavile had Psychic, it would still be pretty bad, but it would definitely help a lot. But in some ways, I also think it's good that, you know, Weavile doesn't just, like, have a good matchup against everything. Oh, and here we go, Jolteon. Jolteon can paralyze Weavile, which that alone would already make this a pretty bad matchup. But that's how much Double Kick does. Double Kick can actually seriously threaten a Pokemon that isn't Chansey, and it doesn't even need a crit. That's hilarious! The fact that, like, I don't even know what to say about that. It's just, I just love it. I'm already a big sucker when it comes to using Double Kick. I always try to use it as much as I can because I always love fishing for those crits. It's just so satisfying. But yeah. And like I said earlier, neither Blizzard or Surf is an OHKO on Rhydon, which is really unfortunate. However, while the matchup can go either way, it's probably in Weavile's favor. Because it's Gen 1 and everything's naturally bulkier, you can survive a Rock Slide. And since you're faster, that means you either get 2 Blizzards off and kill it, or you get a crit, which is pretty likely. So obviously Rhydon doesn't risk it in the first place. However, it's still, you're still not comfortable if you're Weavile. It still really sucks. And then with Slowbro, you only have Sword Stance boosted Hyper Beam. And with 2 Sword Stance, you already have max attack. But even then, there's nothing you can do, really. Slowbro can survive. So, yeah, why would you waste that many resources setting up so many Sword Stance in the first place? Especially since with those 2 Sword Stance, you're probably going to crit anyways, and you just won't even get Slowbro in the red. So it's like a truly unwinnable matchup for the most part. And in Starmie, if you're using Blizzard or Psychic, Starmie can't really touch you. However, with Thunderbolt and especially Surf, it's a 3-hit KO. And I can't really tell who's better off here. I guess Starmie, since Starmie can just paralyze you and can expand recover, which means you do win long term. However, I could definitely see Weavile getting lucky. Or if the Starmie is already pretty weakened, obviously Weavile can revenge kill. But I think this is more so a bad matchup, because also as you just saw there, Starmie can crit. But I don't know, these last 2 replays with Weavile and Savale, I don't know, just been kind of weird with their interaction with Starmie, in my opinion. And last but not least, we got Zapdos. Zapdos does not like Blizzard, but I think it's really grateful it's only a 3-hit KO. Same thing with Thunderbolt. So it could go either way. I think Zapdos mostly needs to depend on Paralysis Hook in order to win, or a crit. But Weavile is equally likely, or actually no, even more likely to crit. So it could go either way, but it's 100% in Weavile's favor. Somewhat closer to good matchups. However, you're still like mostly beat up. Anyway though, here's the list. And honestly not bad. I know Weavile is a dark type and he's fast, but I honestly thought his base 45 special attack was really good to hold him back. But it didn't really. Like yeah, most of these could go either way, but also keep in mind, all those Pokemon I showed you were matchups where it was, you know, just 1v1, both at full HP. Also, I think I'll move this to bad. That's probably more accurate. But either way, like, everything here, even the Pokemon in bad matchups, other than maybe Jolteon, you can still do pretty good against if they're low HP and you're just going to revenge kill. And revenge killing is what Weavile is mostly known for anyways. So overall, I think Weavile would be really successful. Hell, there's actually a good chance that even though he does have some like pretty significant flaws, it could very well be his best generation. Maybe even better than like when he was in Gen 8 or in like other gens. What do you think? Because obviously he doesn't have like dark moves either. He does have knockoff or pursuit. So I could be wrong, but it's whatever. I would like to know like your thoughts on this, however. Do you think Weavile would be really good? Do you think he would be even busted? Think he'd be bad? Overrated? Do you think I'm like hyping him up too much? Let me know in the comments below. And until next time, this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.